Hey everybody, welcome to another Cult Movie Tuesday right here on Night Owl Video. Today we are talking about the 1983 film Fire and Ice. So I hope you will stick around and enjoy my review. We'll be talking about the cast, production, critical reception, my thoughts on the film, where you can watch it, and all that stuff. So make sure you watch to the end. Give me the thumbs up if you like this review. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Welcome to all my new subscribers. I'm up to 176 followers now, so my next goal is 200, and when I get 200 I will probably do a special video, maybe my horror movie DVDs or something. I don't know yet. We'll figure something out. I'm also coming up on my 1-year anniversary, so I'll have to think about something fun to do for that as well. Today we are talking about Fire and Ice, which is an animated fantasy action film from 1983, directed by the incomparable Ralph Bakshi, who also did Wizards, as well as the animated Lord of the Rings. He's done a lot of stuff. I think I usually think of him when I think of this movie, or when I think of him, this is what comes to mind. Even though he's done lots of other great work, but I really like this movie. This movie voice doesn't, well, I guess you could say stars, voice actors were Susan Terrell, who is also in Big Top Pee-wee as well as Crybaby, Maggie Roswell, who was in Pretty in Pink and Cool World, and did a lot of voices on The Simpsons. I don't know if she still does, but maybe. William Ostrander, who was in Christine as well as Mulholland Drive. So there's a pretty diverse voice cast on this. The synopsis for this film is: this fantastical animated movie by cult filmmaker Ralph Bakshi finds the villainous Necron and his mother, Queen Juliana, attacking the human race from their frigid fortress, creating mass destruction with huge glaciers, or as Attenborough would say, glaciers. Necron and Juliana incur the wrath of Larn, a warrior whose entire village was destroyed by ice. When Necron's underlings kidnap the beautiful Princess Tigra, Larn sets out to rescue her, assisted by the fierce and enigmatic Darkwolf. Wow. Yeah, this movie's totally that. Like, this is like sword and sorcery. Like, I wish the soundtrack was like some kind of like heavy metal kind of band, because that's when this is totally that vibe, right? It does still have a pretty epic soundtrack, but this is like just so. This movie is metal. I mean, if you are into metal and you like metal, which I do, this is like this is just so cool and so heavy and just awesome. So yeah, this film was a collaboration between Ralph Bakshi and fantasy painter Frank Frazetta. They were producers together on this film. If you don't know those artists, go check them out, because Frank Frazetta is like awesome. I've got like 4 or 5 of his books of like his paintings. He does like fantasy, sword and sorcery, D&D kind of looking stuff, but he was the master. He passed away in, I think it was 2010, but he was the master of that stuff. So if you like this kind of stuff, like he did this painting, if you like that kind of stuff, like go check out some of his other artwork, because he's really awesome. The filming style used a style called rotoscoping, which is basically they shoot live actors on film, and then they go in and they trace over it with like animation cells. And it's a pretty interesting process. That's, I think, what he used on Lord of the Rings, his adaptation of Lord of the Rings. The screenplay was actually written by 2 Marvel Comics Conan writers, Jerry Conway and Roy Thomas. So you've got that going for it as well. The background painter was James Gurney, who was the author and illustrator of the book series Dinotopia. And I will say, watching this now, all these years later, since I haven't seen it for a long time, but the background paintings are beautiful. And Yeah, it is really quite epic considering it's an animated film. Like you really feel like it's got great atmosphere and great scenery. Um, Fantasy films were all the rage back in 1982. You had the Beastmaster, Conan the Barbarian. I'm probably thinking missing a few others, but the same production company for the film American Pop, which was another film that Ralph Bakshi did, gave Bakshi $1.2 million to make this film. 20th Century Fox agreed to distribute the film. The budget was like again $1.2 million. It only brought in $860,000 at the box office, which isn't surprising, I guess, back then for a fantasy animated film. Like this just wasn't like really like it wasn't done really. I mean, this was kind of a maverick ahead of its time kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna guess I didn't see the statistics, but I'm gonna guess this probably made up its budget in home rentals because this did become a cult favorite on video and Laserdisc. So um, I hope they got their money back anyway. The film was released in 1983 on VHS, CED, as well as Laserdisc. Good Times Video re-released the VHS in 1988. Blue Underground released this version. I think this is the one. No, this is from 2008, but they did release a version in 2005, which was I think a 2-disc edition, which I would probably like to find eventually. And they did release Blue Underground did release a Blu-ray in 2008, so probably this is the one that came out around the same time as the Blu-ray. So there are rumors that Robert Rodriguez would direct a live-action remake of this film as late as 2014, but I can't find any information about what the status is on that. I guess it's stalled out. But yeah, the animation is really beautiful in this movie. So if you're into that or the rotoscoping style of animation, probably not everybody's thing, but I think it looks kind of cool. I like it. The critics did not like this film upon its release. They cited the predictable plot as one of its downfalls. It currently holds a 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think a lot of people thought this was just like heavy metal D&D for like teenage boys. I mean, there is some kind of goofiness to it, and the scantily clad princess that needs to be rescued by the epic, warrior and his sidekick or whatever. It's got a bit of that. I mean, this is 1983 again, so probably this kind of movie wouldn't be made nowadays. But it is what it is, and that's how it was back then. So I don't get all hung up on that, if it's like politically correct or whatever. I mean, it's from its era, and that's how it went. So I can see how some critics wouldn't like this. Like I think Ebert was like, I forget where, I think it was Ebert or one of those guys that was just hated this movie and just said it was, just a moving comic book for 14-year-old boys who, had these fantasies or whatever. I don't know. But when I watched the movie, come on, I thought this was a great movie. I love this movie. And I put all that stuff aside. I didn't see this when I was a kid. Like, I don't think I saw this till I was into my probably 20s or 30s. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, I love this movie. I like that sword and sorcery genre. I wouldn't consider myself an expert in it, but I do like that stuff. Conan the Barbarian, and even Conan the Destroyer, as some of my followers and I have talked about on my channel on comments, that I even like the Destroyer, Beastmaster. I'm trying to think of other ones from back then. Dragon Slayer. Like, I like all those movies. I like that kind of thing. But I would say if you like D&D, sword and sorcery, Conan, animation, this is the thing for you. Heavy Metal Magazine. This has a lot of really cool stuff in it. Like, there's a kind of a witch priestess kind of woman, and she's casting a spell on the princess, and then Necron's foot soldiers come and they kill this sorceress or whatever. And then there's a scene where, you know, the warrior catches up with the burned down hut of this you know, priestess kind of person, and her skeleton comes back up and starts talking and stuff, and like, it's really cool. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I like that artwork, that style. Ralph Bakshi. Just a really cool movie. This edition is from Blue Underground from 2008. It is rated PG. This is region 0, so it's play everywhere, I guess. It's 81 minutes, so it's got that going for it as well. I'll take the disc out. So yeah, this does have some special features, but otherwise it's a pretty bare bones. There's the sidekick warrior guy there, Dark Wolf or whatever his name is, and you'll even see on the disc there that's a Frazetta. Is that the Death Dealer or something like that? Or it's like kind of very similar to that. The cover art on this thing is beautiful. I wish it came with a poster. This would be a really cool poster to have on your wall. There's the back. There's some scenes there. What else can I say about this? Special features. There's an audio commentary with producer-director Ralph Bakshi. The Making of Fire and Ice, which I watched, which was pretty cool. Bakshi interviewed on Frazetta, which was really cool. Sean Hannon's diary notes. I think he was the guy that played Necron. Behind-the-scenes still gallery and a theatrical trailer. I did watch The Making of Fire and Ice, and it was pretty cool. They couldn't find the original elements, so it's actually a copy of Ralph Bakshi's VHS copy of that documentary. That's the only copy they could find. So it's a little rough, but it's really still cool to watch. So let me know what you thought about this movie. Did you like this movie? Did you think it was just too cornball? Harry Knowles from Ain't It Cool News says, I love this film. And you know what, Harry Knowles? I love this film too. And so I would easily give this a 4 out of 5. Little uneven in parts, but still just so charming and wonderful, and just great escapism, and the action is consistent. It keeps going throughout the whole film. So I would highly recommend this for anybody who likes that kind of thing. And if you're really even not into that genre, but you're just into animation, this is a really wonderful example of early 80s rotoscope animation. And like I said, the background scenes, the background paintings done by James Gurney are beautiful. Just pieces of art, literally. And the documentaries on here were cool. You got to see a bit of behind the scenes of how they actually did the animation cells. And it showed them like taking photos of the animation cells for the final print. Really cool stuff. So Blue Underground did a pretty cool job on this. I will be on the hunt for the double disc, but until then, this will be a good placeholder. Again, let me know your thoughts on this film. Leave comments below. Give me the thumbs up if you like this review. Consider subscribing to my channel if you like cult movies, horror movies, and thrifting hauls of physical media. And until next time, I'll see you at the video store or the thrift store, or maybe in some mystical land, you know, fighting off demons or something. I don't know. But until next time, take good care. Bye.